Well, I agree with you. It's about time, right? FBTV Podcast. How are you doing on this TGIF? Usually we're here on a Wednesday, but the holidays got us all screwed up this week. We've got a new setup going on in here, and it's going to take me a little bit of getting used to. I'm used to looking up at the cameras right there in front of me. It's going to be there from now on. We have, like I say, a bunch of things to talk about today. Everything from spot rates, to fuel prices, to Tabasco sauce, to, well, you name it, we got it. WD-40. What in the world could we talk? What could we be doing talking about WD-40, right? Oh, and don't forget, You Can't Fix Stupid, a new feature we got here on the FBTV podcast. Hope you had a good 4th of July. I know we're a week, well, it's not a week, I guess. It's been a few days anyway. Long weekend if you got every one of the days off, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Other than that, I'm trying to get all this sorted. I thought I had it sorted before we started the podcast today, but apparently I didn't. All right. Can't Fix Stupid. Hey, we will get to that in a little bit, but if you got videos, well, we'll wait and tell you about that here in a few minutes. When we get to the You Can't Fix Stupid for today. Let's see, today it's July 7th, Chocolate Day, Dive Bar Day, yeah. What is that, diners, dives, and I can't remember, a guy, Ferrari, whatever his name is. Dive Bar Day has nothing to do with the restaurant, though. Macaroni Day, Strawberry Sundae Day, of course, Tell the Truth Day. Should be telling the truth every day. Today's impossible question, if I remember, we'll answer it at the end of the podcast today. 80% of married people said this was a bigger deal before they got married than after. Any clue? It might surprise you. It's probably not what you're thinking, but it goes along with it probably. Hey, having a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Pretty good company. Satchel Paige, Baseball Hall of Famer, born on this date back in 1906. Doc Severinsen, he's still around, kicking. He's 96 today. You know, remember him from the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? Ringo Starr, he's 83 today. Man, big dust up with the Beatles. Paul McCartney came out a while back saying something about AI to do John Lennon's voice, and man, they got people up in arms quick. I have no idea, though, what they're going to do with it now. Ringo came out and said, no way. No way. And Jim Gaffigan, comedian, he's 57 today, born on this day back in 1966. Some history happened today, back in history, 1754. King's College in New York City opened. It was renamed Columbia College. 30 years later, probably what you know it as. 1891, the traveler's check is patented. Ever used a traveler's check? I have. In 1930, construction begins on the Boulder Dam, later renamed Hoover Dam. Man, they had a lot of water issues out there. You've been watching the videos on that? It's starting to come back a little bit, but nothing like it was. And on this date back in 1987, you may or may not remember, but on this date, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North begins his testimony in the Iran-Contra affair. All right, let's get right to it here. Let's talk about some trucking stuff. We start out with the fuel and spot rates. We did morning coffee. We hit this the other day, but in case you missed it, kind of bring you up to date on it. Fuel prices this week, the week of July 3rd anyway. Diesel's down 3 cents a gallon from last week. That's pretty odd. Gasoline is down as well because this was a holiday week, and generally during the holiday periods, prices go up, so I have to see what's going on. Well, President Biden, he's been kind of preoccupied with Hunter lately. Are they connected? Who knows? Anyway, diesel's down 3 cents this week from last, down to $3.78 per gallon. Gasoline down to $3.53. That's down 4 cents. Spot rates. All right, this looks pretty good. First time in a while we've seen all this. We talked about this the other day in morning coffee too. If you haven't caught morning coffee, well, this week's kind of been off because we've been it's been a holiday week. Holiday weeks they wreck us, man. We get swamped with all kinds of backup work and things like that. But anyway, we get caught up eventually. But we do the morning coffees Monday through Friday morning. They drop at 6 a.m. You can find them on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast app. On YouTube, you can check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Freight Broker TV. Spot rates from last week: van rates are up 2.4%, flatbed up 1%, refrigerated 1.7% up. First time in a while we've seen all three types of equipment be up at the same time during the same week. Spot rates, though, from last month, and you gotta remember when we're talking about spot rates, it's got to be well, you got to remember what day of the month it is. Now, when the spot rates came out, it was July 3rd, or this comparison. So July 3rd to last month was just, it was Monday, to Friday kind of thing. So really not, next week we'll know more. But spot rates from last month, van rates are up 2 cents, up to $2.10 per mile. Flatbed down 6 cents, down to $2.55 per mile. Refrigerated up 2 cents to $2.50 a mile. Now, again, that's just a couple of days. Really not a lot of numbers there to really give us any real information. But here in the next couple of weeks, the tale will be told. But look at that. Van rates up 2 cents to $2. All these rates are kind of flaky. I talk about this pretty much every week, but the rates right now, they're the same as they were back when fuel was under $3 a gallon. What's going on? The fuel surcharge. Flatbed, average fuel surcharge per mile. Now remember, when we're talking about spot rates, the fuel surcharge is already built into the spot rate. So you take 50 cents off, you're at $2 per mile for reefer. Flatbed, you're at $2.55 or $2.05, and drive-in, for crying out loud, we're talking $19.99 rates. Be what, $1.60? Come on, somebody's got to get realistic. Anyway, fuel surcharge, flatbed, 50 cents per mile, drive-in, 42 cents per mile, refrigerated, 46 cents per mile. On average, we're looking at 46 cents per mile across the board for a fuel surcharge. So if you're an owner-operator trying to calculate rates and things like that, that's pretty much what it's going by. Hey, did you see this? This is wild. It happened a week ago today. Today being Friday. This was last Friday going into the weekend. Let me find this. Yeah. That red stuff pouring out of the back of that trailer. It's not blood. It's money, baby. It's money. Authorities in El Paso, Texas responded to a major hot sauce spill last Friday. A driver noticed that a semi-truck traveling on westbound I-10 at the Hawkins exit was leaking a red liquid. Any idea what it turned out to be? Now, with the hazmat suits and all that they got going on there, yeah, I bet everybody saw that. But Tabasco sauce. It was Tabasco sauce. Can you believe that? I guess I don't see how Tabasco. Well, they should have known, but had the bill of lading. But who trusts the bill of lading? I mean, Jiminy Crickets, 2023. People can do anything anymore. AI, change documents, make their own It's a crazy world we live in. But anyway, turned out to be Tabasco. Tabasco sauce. The driver signaled the semi-truck to pull over, and authorities were contacted. CBS 4 local reports that the truck was hauling 4,400 gallons of Tabasco. I wonder, was it in gallon jugs? Or, 55-gallon drums, and they were hauling it somewhere to be bottled? I thought they did all that in Louisiana. As far as that goes, it could have been 4,400 gallons of the bottles. But, man, what a mess. Anyway, about 100 gallons spilled out onto the roadway. The El Paso Fire Department reported that the hot sauce spill resulted in Hazmat Condition 3 response. And I guess Hazmat 3 condition response is where your hazmat suit. Anyway, don't get me lying. All right, let's do some business here. My name is Mike. I'm the host of the Freight Broker TV podcast, Morning Coffee with Tautoa. Also, I'm the lead consultant with Tautoa. Check us out, tautoa.com. We're a transportation and logistics training and consulting firm. We train freight brokers, freight broker agents. We assist trucking companies. If you're a trucking company, we can help you start a freight brokerage. Add an additional stream of revenue. You may be thinking, hey, why would I want to do that? Well, if you're using a broker all the time to get your loads, you're giving away, 15, 20% off the top of what the shipper's paying every time you use a broker. If you learn how to get your own loads, 100% of that rate's coming to you, and that's the way it should be. We've done videos about this in the past, but now coming up next week, we are going to be talking about really getting into with Morning Coffee with Tautoa, about freight brokering, how to find customers, what to do, make sales calls, do the whole 9 yards. We're really going to get into details about that. So you may want to tune in starting Monday morning. But we train people. That's what we do. We're a consulting firm, training and logistics. Now, if you want to start out as a freight broker agent, we always recommend starting out as an agent. Now, if you've got experience as a broker, that's a whole different story. But if you have no experience, you're wanting to start your own freight brokerage, check out Tautoa, because we will train you how to do it. You can enter our mentorship program. That's going to allow you to get both feet on the ground, gain experience, build a customer base before you go out there and spend all that money to get your own broker license. You can build that business while you're in the mentorship program, because the customers you obtain while in the mentorship program, they're yours. They go with you. So keep that in mind. Anyway, all this information is on our website, tautoa.com. Look over the packages. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Number's right there on the screen, 479-668-0838. I'd be happy to help you any way I can. All right, we talked about this the other day. I'm going to briefly touch on it here for a moment. Morning Coffee with Tautoa. I think it was Monday. President Biden's electric vehicle goals, it's kind of losing popularity. And really the only people I believe that was even lukewarm to it were Democrats, as far as that goes. A large majority of Americans are opposed to President Biden's and Democrats' plans nationwide to phase out traditional gas-powered vehicles by 2035. That's kind of nutty in itself. I mean, that's 12 years from now. That's going to be here tomorrow. That's according to a recent Pew Research Center poll. According to the survey, 59% of Americans oppose phasing out gas cars and trucks by 2035. Just 21% would feel excited, 21%, if the U.S. were to move forward with such a policy. These 21% have no life. They never experience the hot rods. They drive those George Jetsomobiles. Anyway, over the last 2 years, Americans have grown in their opposition to phasing out gas vehicles, with 51% opposing in April 2021, 8% less than the share who are now against it. Over this period of time, support for phasing out gasoline cars and trucks has trickled down among both Dems and Pubs, Democrats and Republicans. That's according to the Pew Research. Gas-powered cars represented 93% of all new car sales in 2022. Overall, the average cost of an EV, $64,338. Average cost of a compact gas-powered car, similar size, $26,000. Come on. Let's get real, man. Come on, man. Let's get real. It's in the words of the press. Anyway, I was listening to a thing this morning talking about double brokering. And they hit on a point. I remember a few years ago, and they may still be saying it, there was a service out there that was talking about how MAP 21 made it illegal to double broker. Double brokering is not illegal. It is not illegal. All right? If you have a broker license. Now, the MAP 21, it did phase out trip lease. That's when a trucking company will lease on one truck to run under their authority to haul that load That's kind of skating what the broker authority is for. And they also got into dispatch service somewhat. A dispatch service, if you're a dispatch service, you are contracted directly to a trucking company to work under their authority. Guess we can take that Tabasco down, can't we? You're contracted to work under their authority completely. So you're actually an extension of that company. So you can go out here and get loads for that truck, those trucks. You can represent that trucking company and go straight to the customer themselves, but most dispatch services go straight to the load board and get a load from the load board to put on that truck. Okay, that's generally how they work, and for that, they're getting a percentage of that load. I've seen it anywhere from 5-10%, everything in between, but anyway, that's how that works. Double brokering is not legal. However, man, do we not recommend it at all. Double brokering, if you've ever been double brokered, it can turn into a nightmare. Generally what happens with a double brokered load, maybe I'm the broker, I've got the load, another broker calls me, and more times than not, this is fraud here. This is fraud. When somebody calls me from another brokerage that is associated with the trucking company, and they represent themselves as a dispatcher for that trucking company or a representative of that trucking company, and they provide the trucking company paperwork. In other words, they do not identify themselves as a broker, and they do not let me know that they are actually going to double broker the load. In other words, they're trying to tell me that they are going to put that load on their truck. That's not legal. That's fraud, but it happens, and you got to watch yourself. Matter of fact, one day next week we're going to be talking about that too during Morning Coffee with Tato. It all goes with the with what we're going to be talking about next week about brokering and more details about it. But double brokering is not illegal. However, we don't recommend it. And if you are going to double broker, it should be in a co-broker environment. And what I mean by that, if you're a freight broker and you're wanting to co-broker, or you're wanting to co-broker somebody else's loads, there needs to be an agreement. A true co-broker load is if there's $100 profit on the load, each broker is going to split it. They're going to split it down the middle, 50-50. The broker that had the load, they're getting $50. The broker that brokered the load or got the truck, they're getting $50. You see what I mean? So you're not double dipping. That double brokering, that's a big thing too. A trucking company can't afford. I mean, you heard me talking about fuel prices a moment ago. A trucking company cannot afford to take a double broker hit. If you got this broker taking 15-20% off the top, then it's double broker, and that broker's taking another 15-20% off the top. That's 30-40%. That if it's $1,000 load, that drops it down to $700. Come on, man. You know what I mean? They were talking about bottom feeders too, and yeah, that's sometimes you start doing stuff like that. That's bottom feeding. As a broker, you should be going out and getting your own loads. Period. As a dispatch service, you should be getting your own customers so you can have loads available. But you got to be careful about that too. If you're representing yourself to be with this trucking company, and you go to a customer and you represent yourself as that trucking company, and they provide you loads, you can't take that load and put it on another one of your trucks that you may represent, not without that customer being okay with it. I mean, you got to set that trucking company up as well. And then you're going to run into a problem because, okay, you set that customer up at this trucking company, now you set them up at this trucking company. If I'm a trucking company, I hear you're doing stuff like that. You're taking my customers that you got for me and you're putting those loads on another truck. We could have a problem. But anyway, you get the idea. Anyway, you want to be paying attention next week, or tune in. Morning Coffee with Daltoa, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. That's when they're going to be dropping. And I think we're going to be on time next week. Fingers crossed. Okay, strange law, Minnesota. Dirty tires are illegal. Driving through Minnesota, make sure you get your car washed prior. Dirty tires are considered a public nuisance if they deposit mud, dirt, or other substances on a street or a highway. Hey, here's some things you might want to know. This isn't surprising. Ocean Gate. We got a story about this here in a minute too. Where'd that story go? Where's all my stories going? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we'll talk about this too. We'll talk about same time. They kind of go hand in hand. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. Things you might want to know. It's not surprising OceanGate, the owner of that submersible that imploded near the Titanic, yeah, they suspended all exploration and commercial operations. Kind of figured that's going to be a long time coming. Now, talk about not using their heads. I mean, kind of stupid. All kinds of stupid. But Subway, did you hear about this? Subway restaurant attempted riff on the Titan submersible disaster resulted in a very easily foreseeable brouhaha, according to the story. Here, I'll show you. Look. What were they thinking? I mean, I don't even have to read the rest of the story. The sign says it all. Somebody actually put that up on their marquee. I saw somebody's response to it in a forum. Too soon? Yeah, too soon. That's tacky, man. That's not right. Anyway, the sign came down quickly, and Subway, the company, issued the statement. We have been in contact with the franchise about this matter and made it clear that this kind of comment has no place in our business. Who? Unbelievable. I'm guessing that it was a youngster or somebody that thought it'd be cute, and they probably did it okay it through management. At least I'm hoping. I'd hate the idea to know that some manager or the owner approved that. That's just off the wall wild. Speaking of wild, wildlife officials are warning fishermen to kill this kind of fish if they catch it. Are you ready for this? Where'd it go? This is known as a frankenfish. It's got a snake head, or they call it snakehead as well. Matter of fact, I'm in Arkansas. They were talking about this the other day. Arkansas Fish and Wildlife, Game and Wildlife, whatever, they were talking about if you catch one of these, kill it. And a couple of them have been caught here in Arkansas. Matter of fact, I think I caught one of these a long, long time ago in the river. And man, you reach down, you see those teeth, that will freak you out. That's the frankenfish, northern snakehead. If you catch one of these during the summer, get rid of it, kill it. It's not typical and is considered invasive by the USDA. It risks the native fish population by competing with and preying on them, leading on ecological imbalance. Furthermore, northern snakeheads can survive up to 4 days out of water. Can you believe that? They, due to their ability to retain moisture and breathe air. USGS recommends killing them before releasing them back into the water to prevent the further spread of these snakeheads. Fishermen can also assist by documenting the species size, location, and count, and providing that information to authorities to control their population and protect their native species. Where do you think they come from? Yeah, me too. I think that's, I may be wrong. I'm not going to say it, but I think so too. We get a lot of stuff from there. Anyway. All right, now, this is kind of off the wall wild. Oh man, let's wait a minute. Let's do Can't Fix Stupid. If you're not sure about what Can't Fix Stupid is, well, it's a new feature we do weekly here on the podcast. We cut it out of the audio podcast because this one we may not, because there's some audio to it. But generally we'll cut the video out of the audio podcast because if you can't see it. But this one, there's a story behind it. This happened on Father's Day.
Damn, these guys are good. Look at them stealing. Really, bro? You gotta resort to this? Economy's not that bad. Hold on. Better get it while the getting's good. Oh, damn.
Oh, my. Yeah, you can't fix stupid. All right, here's the background of that. If you were listening to the podcast and you heard the guy talking, economy's not that bad and things like that. Now, Colorado supermarket employee fired. He was fired. The guy that filmed this, he worked there and he was fired after filming the shoplifters on Father's Day. And the shoplifters, man, the sad state of affairs. I mean, anyway, King Supers, it's a subsidiary of Kroger. Employee in Colorado was fired after he filmed those three men stealing $500 worth of laundry detergent. What are you going to do with $500 worth of laundry detergent? Maybe they got a lot of kids, a lot of diapers. I don't know. It don't make any sense. Anyway, Santino Barola, former MP, filmed the three shoplifters stealing the items on Father's Day between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. Barola was fired from his job for supposedly violating the store's policy against chasing after thieves or intervening in a theft. The guy's a former MP. I'm talking military police. He didn't get up close to them to antagonize them or put himself in any danger. And I'm sure with his training, he could pretty much read those three individuals, which they look, stupid criminal tricks. Anyway, a GoFundMe account has been set up by Barola's cousin to help him with the expenses and legal fees. What legal fees? I'm guessing he's going to be going after King Supers to get his job back. According to and to be honest with you, I think after all this, because it's everywhere, it's the video went viral and it's all over the news. I wouldn't be surprised if King Supers offers him a promotion. Anyway, he wasn't given any severance pay and he had put on hold plans to move to Florida to be closer to his family. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office has identified and arrested the getaway driver. Now, for those of you that are just listening to the podcast, you haven't seen the video of the podcast on YouTube. Okay. This employee, Santino, he had his cell phone out. He recorded them. The audio you heard about, hey, man, it's not that bad. What are you doing? Come on, almost not begging, but, presenting the idea that it's probably not a good idea to be stealing this. I'm recording it. And these guys, I mean, this is how bright they were. They wrapped their license plate in aluminum foil. And Santino was able to reach out and pull the aluminum foil off the license plate. They didn't even have it on there that good. So the license plate number showed up in the video. So the cops knew exactly where to go. Anyway, the getaway driver, he's been charged with theft, shoplifting. It's a Class 2 misdemeanor. It ought to be a felony, stupid. The other two participants remain at large, according to the driver. He just offered them an opportunity to make some money. And we know that's not true. He's just covering for them. He's not going to be a snitch. Anyway, the investigators located the registered owner of the vehicle, who alleged to have loaned the car to a friend. So the getaway driver was just a friend. Anyway, what a deal. What a deal. Man, you can't fix stupid. All right. Now, let's talk about this. Take a look at this lady. Not knocking it. Hey, I'm all for tattoos if that's your thing. But this woman can't figure out how come she can't get a job. And I don't think I have to say anything else. 800 tattoos. I can't figure. That face is covered. Did you see that? Look at that again. Holy smoke. Yeah. Anyway, No need to talk about that anymore. All right, talk to you about some things you can do with WD-40. You know, you've been doing WD-40 for a long time. You know, it's good for a lot of things. You know, if the bolts... Matter of fact, I fixed my smoker the other day. I had a Pit Boss vertical Series 7 smoker. And if you've got one of these, and, you know, in the middle of cooking, it kind of turns itself off. You get this error code. Well, you can fix it. And man, I smoked ribs the other day, ribs and chicken and hot links and baked beans on my Pit Boss the other day. And man, it ran like a clock, just like it was supposed to. And I hadn't used it since, I don't know, probably late last fall. Because it just wouldn't stay on. It'd turn on for a little bit, then it shut itself down. Turn on, error code, shut itself down. Well, I go back in time when I first got the thing back, I don't know, two years ago, I guess. Got to set up the front of the face. I wish I had pictures. Maybe I'll put them up next week. But the control panel for the vertical, they put down at the bottom of the unit. You know, so the door's up here, and the control panel for it is down here. That allows drippings. You know, if you open the door, something's dripping off of it, it's going to go into the panel. Well, the protective covering they had over that panel, it started peeling away. I mean, within a couple of weeks after, you know, putting the smoker together. So I got hold of Pit Boss, told them, and they were real nice about it, real good. He got back to me immediately, and they sent me a new control panel. Well, the smoker was working, no problem. So I figured, well, I'll put the control panel up, the new one they sent me, and put it away till the old one conks out. And that's what happened last year, conked out. But there was a problem. I forgot where I put the new one, the new control panel that Pit Boss sent me. Well, over the last couple of months, we were doing some moving around in closets, moving this stuff to the... It's a wife thing. You know how it goes, guys. And lo and behold, I found it in the back of the closet on the floor. So I thought, okay, want to get that thing out. I want to fix that smoker, get it working again, install that new control panel. It's the thing that turns it on, off, temperature settings, all that fun stuff. So I thought, well, let me look at a video. I'll watch a video, make sure I know what I'm doing here. YouTube, of course. And, I watched it all the way through, and I thought, okay, this isn't going to be too difficult. A lot of, but just have to turn it over on the side and go to town on it. And I almost stopped the video, but I noticed this still had about 3 minutes left on the video after they got the control panel set. I go, I better watch. Well, this guy was having the same problem with his Pit Boss that I was having with mine. Exact problem. So I'm assuming quite a few of you have this problem if you have a Pit Boss Series 7 vertical. And it may be just any of the verticals, I don't know, but I know the Series 7. So after he got it fixed, he came back on and he said, ended up having the same problem as before. The new control panel did not solve my problem. He said he called the company, and the company recommended putting in a new thermostat probe that will sense the temperature and, kind of get everything right. He said he could put the new thermostat probe in, and voila, everything started working like it was supposed to. So I thought, okay, before I do this, I'm going to have this thing all torn apart. I'm going to get me a new thermostat probe. Because, man, I'd be ticked off if I had everything broken apart, got it reassembled, and it still didn't work. Because the thermostat probe, you got to take everything all apart. Anyway, get the idea. So I ordered that, and believe it or not, it got here Sunday. Thanks, Amazon. It got here Sunday, and I was able to put it together so we would have it for Tuesday. Have everything put together so I could smoke meat on Tuesday. Monday, test run, everything worked great. But don't even know what the point of my story was now, but that was my experience. Oh, just telling you about the Series 7. If you got that problem, if you're changing that control panel out, make sure you change out that thermostat probe. It's only like $7 or $8. You can get it on Amazon. Just make sure you order the correct one. But, what I was getting to, WD-40, that thermostat probe, it was in the cooking area, so those screws that held it in burnt, rusted. You know how it is. Just the heat burned. And like to never got them out, but I sprayed and sprayed and sprayed with WD-40, and lo and behold, they came out eventually without any problem. Anyway, other uses for WD-40, you can protect a bird feeder. Squirrel's going to slide right off that puppy. Let's say separate stuck glassware. Get off that stuck ring, ring you got stuck on your finger. If you don't have any butter, but you got WD-40. I didn't know this either. WD-40 will kill roaches and repel insects. Gets chewing gum out of hair. I don't know. We always used peanut butter, with my kids and when I was a kid. Scuff marks. Get scuff marks off. Wipe away tea stains. Clean toilet bowls. Will winterproof boots and shoes. I don't know what kind of winterproofing it'll do. But boy, it could ruin them too. You better be careful. Clean and restore license plates. Prevent snow buildup on windows. I get that. Just slide right off. And keep wasps from wasp from building nests. So I guess you got to spray it to wherever the wasp might be. All right. I think we're about done, aren't we? We got the impossible question. Then we'll be out of here. Impossible question. 80% of married people said this was a bigger deal before they got married than after. I know what a lot of you said. It kind of goes hand in hand. But the right answer, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, a much bigger deal before you got married. After you get married, it's a day. Anyway, hey, go have a great weekend, TGIF. Getting things back to normal Monday morning, 6 a.m. Don't forget it, Morning Coffee with Valtoa on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. Find our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Freight Broker TV. Have a great weekend.